welcome back to the Director's Garage. I am your host and resident idiot, Michael, and I'm sorry, folks, I haven't posted for a while. I have been to a bunch of cities on some pretty cool assignments. I got this glowing red sunburn, courtesy of Tom Cruise and his new movie Top Gun Maverick. Talk to me, Goose. But it was pretty cool spending 2 days shooting on an aircraft carrier in San Diego Bay. Tom made an epic entrance. I mean, unbelievable. I can't wait to see this movie. This will be a theater experience for sure. Now, sticking with that naval theme, today we're heading into uncharted waters. I'm unboxing a headphone that shipped weeks ago. You do know I'm going to overdo these references, don't you? You should know me by now. It's been conspicuously anchored in the background for a few weeks, and it's a whale of a headphone. It's been on my sonar for a year now. Yep. We're getting ridiculous as usual, but no one said anything like, hey, what you got moored behind you? It's a cruise missile of supersonic delight. At least I hope it is, because I fired off some major cash for this one. We'll be checking that out today. But first up, I'm debuting a new segment on the show. This is called the Random Record Review. And it's okay. You can come out now. So boom, we're in a different location. I know, you're like freaked out. What happened? Well, this is the exact opposite side of the room of where I normally shoot the show. This is the record corner, kind of, or whatever. So I first just want credit that I moved heaven and earth to get all the lighting and the cameras over on this side of the room, okay? Now, this room is a little less used. There's a little bit more dust up here. This up here, by the way, this is my shelf of like where I've been. Little mementos and knickknacks from the crazy adventures I've had. I try to pick up little things along the way, like a little moon rover, and gotta have a little moose from Canada. This is a moose that plays hockey. He's from Montreal. So in this room, I have about 3,000 records on the shelves around this room, and this is one of the areas up here. This is where the guitar heroes and my core bands are, and then I've got the super groups on the second level. I'm talking about the Stones and the Beatles and Pink Floyd, and my Doors Infinite collection, 45 RPM mastered from Bernie Grun. I mean, these are like the best of the best here. Now, there's a section down here that's all jazz. I've got all my jazz music and my Blue Note collection and all my Sinatra and that stuff. And then right next to that, I've got the entire box set of Led Zeppelin, which I collected because idiot. So for our first random record review, we're going to go to the top section. And like, I know these are mostly guitarists back here, and that these are more bands back up in the front section. So I'm going to reach back a little bit further, and I'm going to just pull one out at random. And I've got Derek and the Dominos in concert. Ooh, this is a good one. Let's go back to the desk. Of course, now that I'm back over on this side of the room, I realized I probably should have just shot this out of order and staged the choice of the record before I... Anyway, oh boy, I created a lot of work for myself, folks. Not the smartest move. So here we are with Derek and the Dominos in concert. Now, y'all are probably familiar with their Layla record. That's the one that, you know, was the juggernaut of 1970 that brought you the title track and Bell Bottom Blues and Any Day and all these great songs with Duane Allman playing slide guitar on about half the record. This record is from 1973, and Duane Allman died in 1971, so he couldn't be on this record. But this one's even hard to find in a catalog, let alone an actual record. And I came across this at a thrift store 30 years ago. It would have been like 1989. I was working at Channel 11 in Chicago, where we did soundstage and all that. I had a buddy of mine. We used to go out on our lunch hour going hunting for records, and we went to this thrift shop, and I found this, and I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, what is a concert record of Derek and the Dominos? I've never heard of this before. And sure enough, this is Bobby Whitlock is on the record, and then it's of course Eric Clapton, but it's got performances of Let It Rain. This is all recorded at the Fillmore East, which was Bill Graham's venue. Produced by Robert Stigwood. This is on RSO, which is Robert Stigwood organization. If you guys didn't know that, Robert Stigwood was the producer who brought us the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band movie. That awful 1977-78 affair with the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton and Steve Martin. It was a disaster. I was shocked by this record. It's got a lot of Clapton on it. It doesn't do too many Derek and the Dominos classics from Layla. It's got Why Does Love Gotta Be So Bad on it, Gotta Get Better in a Little While. Those were pretty much staples for the Derek and the Dominos, but Let It Rain is on this. That's a solo, and In the Presence of the Lord. Both of those are Clapton songs. But very cool on this, and also on this record, I believe, is Bonnie Bramlett from Delaney and Bonnie. And then the other notable person on this record is Leon Russell, who performed on Blues Power. So the great Leon Russell on this record. And I'll take you back a little bit to my experience with this, because here's a group that I grew up with. This was, my mom introduced me to Derek and the Dominos' Layla. It was her favorite album, or one of her favorite albums growing up. I have a very cool mom. I really do. And this was her, like, she had the Derek and the Dominos Layla album, and I'd listened to it and worn grooves in that thing, and it was a scratchy record by the time I was a teenager from all of us abusing it on the family record player. So I was so used to those songs in that group, and I knew they only had one record, and then Eric moved on to his solo career. Of course, we lost Duane Allman, and Bobby Whitlock went his own way. But I always thought that, it was a shame they didn't do more. So imagine you're searching through a record bin one day and you come across a record like this. And it's like a band that's like a core band to you, and it's a whole new set of music from them. And I'd never heard this before. Now, this has been released maybe once or twice in a CD form, but on analog in 1989, when you really didn't have, CDs were just still catching on. This was a find, folks. This was a find. And it wasn't expensive. It was like $20 or $25. And so I'll show you the gatefold and look at this. Wow. This is pretty bitchin' cool. So fun. Anyway, that's your random record review. Leave a comment below if you'd like to see a segment like this again, or should I take it out with the trash like the rest of this show, myself included. All right, let's get down to business. Today I have part 2 of an unboxing I did a few episodes back. If you remember, when I opened up that Hi-Fi-Man R9, there was a second headphone in that box. A headphone that cost roughly twice the price of that R9. And today, we're gonna unbox it. Now, I don't know what might be in this box right here. I don't know how you might possibly glean what I could have purchased inside this very nondescript box right here. And but at any rate, we are going to unbox this box, and I'm going to show off its features, and then we'll run it through a Director's Garage sound impression to hear what it sounds like, and then the headphone is going to return for a full review for what I call a sound check once I spend a few weeks with it, putting it through its paces. Now, I did pay for this headphone out of my own pocket, and so you got to know my expectations are relatively high on this. I bought this headphone from Audio 46, where, of course, everyone should buy their products. They're a local business out of New York, and at checkout, if you use the coupon code Director's Garage, all one word, you can save an extra 5% on most of the items they carry. And it kicks back a little bit of love to your resident idiot. It's a total win-win. I pick up my axe and fight like a farmer now, you know what I mean? And hey, your bullets keep knocking me down. You got that one? It's a little more obscure. That's Machine Gun by Jimi Hendrix off of his Band of Gypsies album, recorded live at, come on guys, the Fillmore East. Same one as my random record review. How cool is that? Oh my God, that was the end of 1969 into early 1970s. That was a happy accident, by the way. So yeah, this not-so mystery box has in it a headphone that I auditioned when I went down on my factory tour, and this was one of the ones that I thought I would buy, and I wanted to review it for the channel. And Audeze, by the way, they offered to ship me this headphone for free to review, and I said, we don't do that around here. If you guys don't know, I either purchase the headphone or it comes to me from a third-party like store like Audio 46, and that way nobody can claim that there's any bias going on here, that I'm getting free stuff from a manufacturer, therefore I'm turning in a favorable review. Yes, it's more expensive to do a show this way, believe me. I've been literally putting my money where my mouth is for a long time. Maybe subscribe to the channel so it doesn't hurt so much. But all right, I think we got it. Are you ready? Are you ready? And oh my God, it looks like, well, can you see? It looks kind of like an Audeze product. Imagine that. It's an Audeze product on this show. Who would have thought? Let's dig deeper. All right, comes in a nice big sturdy case. That's one thing. And it is a big headphone, folks. This isn't like a small thing. And I think we can kind of like, let's just pull this off. Voila! This is a much nicer case, by the way, than what I have for the Carbon or the LCD-5, I think. I think this is snazzier. Anyway, by the way, the Carbon is on its way back to me. It should be here any day now. And let's take a look inside. So anyway, now you know it's not a Carbon, you know it's not an LCD-5, but I already have those anyway, so it probably did. And oh, what is this? You can't tell yet, but I'm going to show you, and you're going to freak. Oh, baby. Look at this. Look at this. This, folks, is the Audeze LCD-XC. Yes, the Audeze LCD-XC. This is a heavy mother of headphone. Being honest with you, it is. It's heavier than I remembered, but look at pretty carbon fiber cups, and they are screwed in with machine-like precision. It's got the traditional Audeze band up top. Not carbon fiber, though. This is a metal band with a leather strap underneath, and boy, they're cushy-looking pads here. Let's see. Oh, they're too small. Hang on. Got to make this work. Better. Nice. They feel comfortable. They are a bit heavy. I will definitely concede that fact. So let's dig a little bit deeper in this case. Let's see what it comes with. It literally doesn't look like it comes with much other than a cable. Also, buried down here, we've got an Audeze card, certificate of authenticity, and a little warranty dealio. And it looks like keys to the case. I may travel with these someday. Nobody gets in my case. I do want to say that these feel really well made. The tolerances feel really tight on these, and that's an encouraging sign. They feel like they're really durable too, and that's a compliment to Audeze. But I do think that we need to get these things wired up and head into a director's garage sound impression. So I am firing these with a Axios Kimber cable. Now this is a very blingy, very expensive cable, more expensive than most of us would ever dream of doing. I just found this for a massive deal, but I'm going to take a listen to them. One thing I will say is the isolation from the outside world is very good, and one thing I heard when I was on my Audeze tour is that this headphone has been adopted by sound mixers at concerts. And listening to the cut on the noise, and that it's passive noise canceling, meaning that it's being rejected by the materials, but not by any sort of electronics. These do reject significantly a lot of the room noise. I can't hear like the fan of my computer is about the only thing I really am catching outside of here. I can't hear Howley for sure. And I'm going to start off with a little Hell Freezes Over. This is the Hotel California track from that record that sounds so just amazing and breathtaking. Ooh. Okay, these are way more efficient. And this is right off, you know, these are brand new. They've only been broken in by Audeze. Audeze, by the way, claims you don't need to break in their headphones. They burn them for 24 hours and they say they're good to go. Just take them home and listen. So I'm getting a really nice initial representation. They are a little bit, like initially they had me concerned because I'm hearing all the finger picking. They do sound like there might be a touch on the bright side. I can't tell. But now the bass drum is kicking in. And it's got a wallop to it. I mean, a wallop to it. Ooh. Boy, it's got a really good image. Very clean sound. There's a lot of detail. I'm very impressed with the detail. I'm very impressed with the bass out of the gate. This is a very nice bass experience. There's a lot of bass presence, but it also has a little bit of slam to it. They do push a tiny bit bright up top. It's higher than most headphones push bright. I would put it more in the 8 to 10K range, not that 6K range. This is up higher. They could use maybe a little toning down there. Boy, the Ore really kicks it in the ass. But I can see what people mean by, like, it's a perfect headphone that needs to be, like, you need to have that top carved down just a little bit. Very narrow range of frequency could just be pulled back just a little bit. Because they do sound a little bright up top. So now I'm going to go to some Eric Clapton, staying kind of in that theme that we started earlier on the show. And I'm going to go to his Slow Hand record from 1977. This is one of his most critically acclaimed records. It's really nice. I'm going to jump ahead to Lay Down Sally, which is a more rocker. Yeah. This is a great hookup. This sounds really nice. The bass is driving on this song. The shuffle track is pushing me forward. Eric's got a nice mid-rangey vocal in this. And you got the harmonies. And it's a quiet background on this song. There's almost no reverb. And a headphone that isolates this well, it's a nice experience. It's a great groove. I mean, I'm really... You know, it makes me want to hear Alabama 3, because this song reminds me of Woke Up This Morning. And I'm going to go there right now. Now, the album was Exile on Cold Harbor Lane, and it's the full version of Woke Up This Morning on this one. It's a 5-minute song that was cut down for the Sopranos thing. But a song like this has got a really good driving bass, and this record is really interesting, by the way. It is a good listen. I used to run to this record. It's a good album to run to. Such a big drum sound in this. This headphone is doing that really well. It's funny, when I heard this song for the first time, which was on The Sopranos, the opening credits, I thought R.L. Burnside did this song. I had no idea. I had to say, this is a good experience. There may be a touch bright, but it's a really good experience. I feel like I'm listening to a well-crafted sound. It's not perfect for me because it does have a little bit of a punch, but it's a well-crafted sound signature. These feel very intentional in their tuning and in their decisions. And I suppose there's an element of what I just said that sounds like bullshit. But I get a sense as I'm listening to something, there's a richness to the sound. And I'm like, this had to be calculated. I don't think you could just, just throw the drivers in and let it go and see what happens. Somebody really spent some time getting this right to the way they wanted them. And maybe they're not to my perfect way, but I appreciate their angle on it, their attack on it, their vision to the sound. This is outstanding. This is outstanding. That's a great ride right there. This is a blues headphone. I really feel that. Let's go to some muddy waters. All right, I'm gonna go to hard again. Now this was a big comeback album for Muddy, and I think I've talked about this on the show before. But you got Mannish Boy leading this thing off, Johnny Winter on guitar, and Muddy. This was a resurrection album for him. He came back into the mainstream with this song. Helped out a few years later. It was included in Risky Business. This is so good. This is real blues, folks. Real electric Chicago blues. But you feel it. You feel everything about this record. Let's go back into that rock lane. Let's go to Rolling Stones. I'm going to go to Exile on Main Street. There's something so dirty about this record. You need to wash it before you listen to it. Yeah. Listen to Rocks Off. This is like a mid-range special album. There's still good bass. It just pushes in the middle. The mids on this are very good. The treble is just a touch bright. Bass is on point. Yeah, these are rockers. These are good rockin' set of headphones. I think it's better on rock than I do acoustic music. It's really good. Get Ian Stewart playing piano in the background. Got Wyman on bass. Well, this will make a really good headphone. I'm going to pause here. It's going to make a really good headphone to do some more testing on, because I want to check out the speed of this headphone. I did hear a couple of things that made me go, maybe they're not as fast as I think they are. And these are going to be things that I want to check out and I want to test. So let's talk about this a little bit before I wrap things up today. And, I've been looking for a good set of closed back headphones that can satisfy these kind of two things I'm looking for. First is an audiophile experience sonically, and I think that these qualify for that. And two is a headphone that I can use to mix, and I think the jury's a little bit out on that. I want to hear these a little bit more. Now, right now I use, of course, the NDH20. These are twice the price of that. These are a really good set of headphones for mixing, but they're not a tremendous audiophile experience, nor are they very comfortable. Though certainly much lighter than this. Whoops. Certainly much lighter than this headphone. These are pretty good, and this is like in the pocket of what I'm looking for. I do want to listen to these a little bit more, and I want to. They just fall a little touch on the bright side. I got to decide if I can live with that or not. I think I can. So that's the Audeze LCD-XC. It's one hell of a closed back headphone at a reasonable price. Just $1,200-$1,300 for these. That's very reasonable when you consider what else is out there that delivers this type of performance. I can't wait to dig into these. We'll do a full sound check of this headphone in the coming episode. Now, next up, we're going to head into a full sound check review of the Hi-Fi HER9, that bass cannon of a headphone I unboxed a few weeks back along with this one. Now, can the sonics get me to overlook the painfully poor build? Well, make sure you're subscribed to the Director's Garage so you don't miss that answer. Now, I want to thank you guys for spending a few minutes of your day here. Give this episode a thumbs up if you enjoyed our unboxing and first listen to the LCD-XC and our very first random record review. Let's not forget that. Or you can do the other thing if you'd like to see me go play in traffic for a while. I can't say I blame you either way, but I will see you before you know it. Hey, back to these. I hear more.